Hello everyone, welcome to the When at Work podcast. You're the host, Julia Leahy. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Marcus Schaller and Dan Woerheide. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excited.
Me too. Let's get the music on. All right, so categories for today are Odd Jobs, South America, starts with B, the desert, toys and games, and US states. And Marcus, you can kick things off being on the left. What would you like?
I'll take toys and games for 100.
Toys and games for 100. Parker Brothers has made balls, boomerangs, and ping pong paddles out of this soft material.
What is rubber?
Yeah, I was hoping for Nerf or foam rubber, but I'm going to pay that. You know, the old Nerf. These days it's mostly in guns, but you used to be able to get Nerf footballs and stuff. All right, so there's 100 points. Mr. Shuller, what would you like? You're still in control.
Oh, right. Well, I'll stay with toys and games for 200 then.
Toys and games for 200. As scissors beats paper, so paper beats this.
What is rock?
Paper beats rock. And I'll just quickly... if you're unable to answer, I'll introduce Dan in and give him a shot. That's how we do it. Okay.
Sorry, Dan. I might be on a roll, but it could end at any moment.
That's famous last words, Marcus. All right. Next, what would you like?
I'm going to stick with toys and games for 300.
Toys and games for 300. Total number of dots on the highest standard domino. I haven't seen a domino for years.
What is 12?
Let's take a look. On fire, Marcus.
Oh.
Well done. What would you like?
All right, 400 toys and games.
400 toys and games thrown out by GE in 1949. This stretchy stuff became a national fad.
What is silly putty?
Silly putty. I used to love silly putty. I had the stuff that would glow in the dark and you throw it and it would bounce. You ever seen that one? Or is that what it all does? I don't know. All right. What would you like, Marcus?
Let's close it out. 500.
500. This gets a bit risky down this end. Said to be a weapon in the Philippines, Duncan made them toys for the US. This is very obscure.
What is a Frisbee?
Dan, do you have any idea?
What is a yo-yo?
Let's take a look.
Nice.
Dan is correct. Well done. You have taken control and got 500 points in one fell swoop. That's how it goes with this game. You're never out of it. What would you like, Dan, now you're in control?
Yeah, let me go with odd jobs for 300.
Odd jobs for 300. He raises penmanship to a fine art. He or she raises penmanship to a fine art.
What is a calligrapher?
Sounds good to me. Let's take a look. Calligrapher is correct. Well done, Dan. You have drawn even. 800 apiece. What would you like, Dan?
Let me go with odd jobs for 400.
Odd jobs for 400. Horse racing fixtures. The British call them turf accountants. Before they had all those online gambling apps, you would go to somebody called this. Usually connected to the mafia or someone somewhere unsavory.
It's eluding me.
Marcus, you have a chance here.
What is a bookmaker or bookie?
Let's take a look. Bookie is correct. Well done, Marcus has wrestled back control.
All right, let's go with odd jobs for 500.
Odd jobs for 500. What a Fletcher makes. This is one that I did not know.
What is a hat?
Dan.
What is an arrow?
Let's take a look. Arrow is correct. Well done, Dan. The archer. What would you like?
Let me go with odd jobs for 200.
Odd jobs for 200. For 10% off the bail, he'll spring you from jail.
What is a bail bondsman?
Bail bondsman, Dog the Bounty Hunter, is correct. Well done, Dan.
Let me close that out for 100.
Odd jobs for 100. Lowest member of a movie crew whose job is to go for anything.
What is a gopher?
A gopher is correct. I stumbled on that sentence and sort of really pronounced the answer there. Well done. Nevertheless, you got it. 1,500 points, Dan, versus 1,200 for Marcus. Close game.
Let's see what we can do here. Let's go U.S. states for 300.
U.S. states 300. Region originally called Indian Territory. It now has no Fed reservations.
What is Nebraska?
Marcus, any idea?
What is South Dakota?
Let's take a look. Oklahoma. Still in control there. Dan, what would you like?
Let's try U.S. states for 400.
U.S. states 400. Western neighbor of Tennessee and Mississippi. It has only Diamond Field in North America. What
What is Arkansas?
Arkansas. Does that sound right, Marcus?
I'm going to say yes.
Arkansas is correct. Well done, Dan. He listened in geography. What would you like?
I've been hunting on that diamond field.
All right. What is it? What sort of field? Not a baseball field.
It's a naturally produced diamond mine, but it's more like
actual
an open
diamonds.
farmer's type field.
I thought it was in the shape of a diamond.
No,
it's actual diamonds.
Open field. Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. What would you like next, Dan?
I'm going to go for U.S. states 500.
U.S. states 500. Midwest state whose native sons include Marlon Brando, Nick Nolte, and Henry Fonda.
What is Washington? No.
Marcus, any idea? Just have to guess a Midwest state, really.
Yeah.
I always thought Brando was from like New York or New Jersey just because of The Godfather, but
What is Minnesota?
let's take a look. It is Nebraska. Did you say Nebraska, Dan?
No,
No, you
I said
didn't.
Washington.
Okay, well, you're still in control.
Whew. Let's try something new.
Please.
Let's go with starts with B for 200.
Starts with B for 200. Nickname of Jill Gerard's futuristic Captain William Rogers. This is an old show. Like, probably black and white, I think.
What is Buck Rogers?
That is correct. Well done. I don't know why, but I know that show. I think they had reruns. Did your points go on then?
I don't know. I don't see the points.
We'll just assume that he's way ahead of me at this point.
It's 1900 versus 1200. There's 700 points. You can make that up easily. Dan, what would you like?
Let's go starts with B for 400.
Starts with B 400. Quality of a Scots brogue, which makes the R roll.
I have no idea.
No idea.
Okay, it's also the surname of a comedian called Bill, not the one who drugs women.
What is Mar?
Ah, yes, I suppose he is a comedian, even though he's not funny, but no. Dan, do you have any idea?
What is Burr?
Let's take a look. Burr is correct. Well done. We're going through the Bill comedians there. Dan, what would you like?
I don't know. Let's try South America for 200.
South America. Ocean-going boats can travel 2,300 miles up this river to Iquitos, Peru.
What is the Amazon?
Amazon is correct. Well done. It's the only river I know in South America too. That's
right.
Dan, what would you like?
Let's go for South America 400.
South America 400. Over 1/3 of its population lives in its capital, Montevideo. Or Montevideo, I don't know.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Marcus?
Pass.
Tap
Pass.
out. It is Uruguay.
Uh,
This is a
Okay.
tough one, South America. If If you guys were from Britain, you would know because of all the soccer. You know the countries a bit more. I don't really know myself. But nevertheless, Dan, you're still in control. What would you like?
Let's go. I'm going to play with the desert for a minute. Let's go there for 200.
Let's leave South America. The desert for 200, the lowest point figured in Ronald Reagan's career. These questions are from a 1984 episode of Jeopardy.
What is his acting career?
Yeah. No. Do you have any idea, Marcus? It's probably a big scandal or something.
I think I'm still struggling with the question and the category, actually.
Yeah. It is Death Valley. Does that ring a bell? Death Valley is a really hot place in Arizona, isn't it?
Yes.
So what's that got to do with Ronald Reagan?
No idea. Maybe it was
Does he live there?
Maybe. Yeah. All right, Dan.
Don't like that category.
No.
Let's go with starts with B for 100.
Starts with B for 100. Goodyear's gas bag.
What is a blimp?
The blimp is correct. Well done, Dan. Do they still have the Goodyear blimp?
Yeah?
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yes. What is starts with B for 300?
Starts with B for 300.
It starts with the answer.
To give by will.
What is bequeath?
Dan, you are incredible. Well done. Marcus, you started out strong, but
I fizzled.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. All right, Dan, what would you like?
Starts with B for 500.
Starts with B for 500. Australian bay named for the many plants growing on its shores.
What is the Bay of Biscayne?
Ooh, Marcus, you have a chance here. It's he was barking up the right tree with the two B's.
I'm going to admit that my first thought was Bay of Pigs, and then I shut up. So
yeah, just a little north, that one. It's the bay that Captain Cook sailed into when he founded Australia, or invaded, depending on your perspective. That bay.
I struggled enough with U.S. states.
Yeah,
here.
it's a big ask. It is called Botany Bay. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
You have heard of it. Okay. Dan, what would you like?
Let's go with U.S. states for 200.
U.S. states 200. The Wolverine state in 1847 became the first to abolish capital punishment. Wolverines. I did not know you had Wolverines in the United States.
Neither did I. What is Vermont?
Marcus, do you want to have a punt?
I'm going to say North Dakota.
It is Michigan. Incredible. They did the first ones to get rid of capital punishment. Dan.
Wow, this is getting tough. U.S. states for 100.
U.S. states for 100. The two states that don't border any others.
Oh.
I can think of one of them.
No hints.
I can think of one of them also. What is Hawaii? But the other one eludes me.
What about the place where Jennifer Lopez is from? Is that a state?
That's the Bronx.
Oh, I thought she was from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico is a territory.
Oh, it's a territory. Okay. Sorry, that was probably.
It's okay.
I'll get in trouble for that.
Yeah, I don't know the second one.
All right, let's take a look. It is Alaska. And Hawaii. So why isn't Alaska connected to
Canada?
Oh, it's on the other end.
Not bordered by any states. That's correct.
Crazy. Wow.
I wanted to say that, but oh well.
I think you're in a comfortable lead, Dan. You're okay.
Is it even possible for Dan to catch up? So he's what do we got? 1,700, and we've got 1,000. Yeah, you can.
I would have to have a miraculous run of South American and desert knowledge.
I've seen it before, Marcus. All right, Dan. What would you like?
Let's go South America for 500.
South America for 500. Famous William Hudson novel set in the South American jungle. This is like a literature question. And I've never heard of this book, so I don't know how famous it is. Nevertheless, or that being said, I'm not very well read, so that doesn't count for much. The last book I read
was about Eisenhower, so I don't think
okay, let's take a look. It is The Green Mansions. Never heard of that one. Don't think I will come across that one either. Dan, what would you like?
Slim pickings. Let's go to South America for 300.
South America 300. Crazed by a presence of blood, these carnivorous freshwater fish even eat each other. That's a bit more like it.
What is a piranha?
Piranha. Did you ever see the movie from the 70s with Lee Majors?
Yes.
B-grade movie. I liked it when I was a kid. All right, Dan, what would you like?
What is... no, there we go again. South America for 100.
South America for 100. Argentinian communist fighter from the 60s, often seen on rock band T-shirts today.
I have no idea.
Marcus, this is your big chance.
What is Che? C-H-E.
Che Guevara is correct. Well done. Here comes the comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Marcus is going to have to get some fluids for this.
Let's go the desert for 500.
Desert for 500. Go hard or go home. Coldest, most northern desert in the world. It rhymes with a basketballer that died in a helicopter crash.
Yeah.
How many basketballers died in a helicopter?
No, I know that. Now I'm trying to match it up.
Just pick a consonant.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dan?
My only guess was going to be, what is Alaska?
Rhymes with Kobe.
Oh, the Gobi.
Is correct. Well done. With some liberal...
Sorry, Dan, I had a grasp for whatever...
Which basketball player were you going
I
with before I said Kobe? Who else has died in a helicopter crash?
Well, I was thinking Bryant, so I'm going with
your brain can do that to you sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I didn't actually say first name. Anyway, you're in control, Marcus, and you can win it. No, you can't.
Oh, okay.
No, you can't. My mathematics is not good.
I can't? Okay, well, we'll just go for it anyway. We'll say the desert for 400.
Desert for 400. Artist famous for her paintings of the deserts of the American Southwest.
Oh, I know this.
It's a her. She did desert paintings.
Yeah. What is Georgia O'Keeffe?
Georgia O'Keeffe. Dan, do you have any idea just in case?
No, but it would be a who is.
Oh, who is?
Well, aren't you a stickler? Georgia O'Keeffe is correct. Well done.
All right. 300 desert.
300 desert. Greek for fertile land buildings. Greek for fertile land. Buildings are built around but not on these watering spots.
What is oases?
Oases is correct, and you even had the correct tense. Well done.
Well,
last
that makes
question.
Up for my what is thing before,
it does. Yeah, that's cancelled out now. And desert for 100 is the last one.
Right.
Old man, hedgehog, and barrel. Whoa, what are they?
What?
Okay. Oh, they are a type of plant associated with the desert.
What is a Joshua tree?
Dan, do you want to drive the knife in?
What is a cactus?
Oh.
Cactus is correct. Yeah. Well done.
If you win by 100, Dan, I'll be so mad.
Final scores 2,500 versus 3,300. It was pretty close. Ooh. Let's have a round of applause for our fantastic guests.
Good job, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus.
I'm just glad I broke 1,000.
That was fun.
Well, you know, I've had people that basically get no points, and it's or I used to take points off, which is what you're supposed to do, and they would go negative 10,000, and I always felt so bad. Anyway, Marcus, let's learn a little bit about what you're doing, and how did you get into coaching, and who do you do it for?
So I am a marketing coach. My background is primarily in messaging and copywriting over the last 20 plus years.
Interesting.
So I worked with a lot more recently with like software companies and creating their marketing collateral and messaging, and they're working with them on their positioning strategy. And now, even though coaching has always been a part of what I do with clients, now I'm pivoting to really focusing primarily on coaching and less on actual copywriting projects. So right now, what I do is I work with entrepreneurs to help them really make better marketing decisions so that they can get unstuck and start attracting more of their ideal customers.
Yes, this is very important stuff, all about the messaging and, branding side of things that you put out. I was going to ask you about copywriting, but you're not really doing that. What type of copywriting did you do for people? What was the best type of copywriting? I love copywriting.
Well, a lot of it would be things like email campaigns, website landing page, sales pages, that kind of thing. And then the other side, content marketing. So even though people don't call it copywriting, I just mix them together. So, writing like case studies, blog posts for clients, things like that, ebooks, white papers.
Did you ever get involved in the dark arts of direct response copywriting?
Actually, you know what? Everything we do as marketers is in copywriting today really is grounded in the dark arts of direct response copywriting. So any kind of good email campaign has that element. When I think about traditional direct response, it's more mail, like by mailers and things like that. So I haven't really done that. I came in just as that was starting to really go out, but the principles are very much the same.
Have you heard of James Altucher?
Yeah, of course. He has a podcast. Yeah,
I'm on his email list, and the direct response, like full sales stuff that he sends out, I love it. But a lot of people say it's too much, but I don't know. I think it works. Anyway, what I was going to ask you now, let's move on to the other side of things. What type of businesses are you helping them as far as what are they doing wrong? And what are they needing to do to move the needle?
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake I see entrepreneurs make, and even larger companies, is they try to be everything to everybody, right? It's very hard sometimes to decide on your niche. What is the specific problems that you're going to be solving? Who exactly are you going to solve those for? Because those are very hard decisions, right? It means cutting off other options and really focusing on one or two or a narrow frame there. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs especially really struggle with that because it can be a little scary to really focus that narrowly. But the downside is if you don't, then what can happen is your messaging and all your marketing can just be very generic, and you can just easily get lost. So that's actually one of the primary things I help my clients with, is making those hard decisions and really starting with that foundation of their strategy and how their marketing and how their business aligns with their strengths.
Do you get much pushback when you tell people to niche down, however people say it these days?
It can, yeah. I mean, the way I approach it, I try as much as possible not to, tell people that they should or shouldn't do anything. It's more about helping them kind of discover that on their own and seeing where they're having the challenges in their business and noticing for themselves that, one of the issues might be that I'm really trying to do too many things and my messaging in general is too broad and generic. But yeah, I think it's hard for people to really get there emotionally because it's uncomfortable, right? Making hard decisions is by definition uncomfortable. So I think that's the nature of that dynamic, and it requires a lot of trust with between me and the client that I can earn that trust with them,
Yeah, sometimes people think, look, I've got, X amount of customers in this particular area and it's a small part of the business. and then it's a real kind of shift to say, look, I want you to stop doing that and get rid of those people and focus on this. And if you do that, you'll be better off. And that's the tough one. It's but once you see people and they've got just their niche down, they've got their messaging down, you look at what they're doing and it's straight away, you know what it is. And, I hate it when it's all over the place and they're doing 100 different things. I was going to ask you, Marcus, can you give us an example that you can think of somebody that you helped them refine and clarify their messaging, and what did that look like? Because some people don't understand the concept of messaging, what it means. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I actually recently was working with a client of mine who, excuse me, with a partner of his was developing a software product, and there was a lot of different directions they could go as far as what the positioning was, who their target audience would be, and then later what the messaging, what would be the tagline, what would be the value prop, right, that they're putting front and center. I can't disclose specific information because of privacy and names like that, but basically what I did was really again asking questions and sharing frameworks so that you go in with somebody who might not be looking at things the same way, and you can share a framework of how to actually look at their business holistically, right? And taking the step back, because a lot of times entrepreneurs, we're all really so stuck in our business, right? We're so close to it. It can be really hard to back up. And then to your second question, messaging is really, in the simplest form, it's really like, how are you expressing to the public or to your audience or to your marketplace, how are you expressing the value that you're going to create for them, right? And then that could be everything from what's on your landing page, on your home page, on your website, to what's your tagline on LinkedIn. So the messaging then can become like, what's the actual copy that you're writing.
Awesome. And what type of businesses do you mostly work with, like your ideal types of people, or do you do several? You said SaaS.
Yeah. Most of my copywriting background in the last few years has been working with technology companies and SaaS. Ideally, the types of entrepreneurs that I love working with are ones who, it's not any particular industry. Ironically, here I'm talking about niching, right? But it's more about their mission. It's more about their business is really a creative expression of their calling. And that could be very many different types of industries. It could be somebody who's a designer or a freelancer. It could be somebody who's developing software, right? So it's really about how the business relates to their own purpose in life. And I think that's where I really love getting into those kinds of conversations with clients, because I think that's being able to help them express that clearly is something that's really gratifying for me.
Awesome. And if people want to get in touch with you, what can they expect? Do you have a call with them? I've got your website there. Is that the best place to go?
It is, yeah. And I'm actually right now developing some offers, some additional offers that are going to go on our website very soon. But as of right now, I'm happy to chat with people, have kind of an introduction call, and really just get to understand what is the challenges they're facing, and see if there might be a fit, some way for me to help them.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Especially the messaging side of things, and a lot of people are stuck with that I speak to, I think. And, like you said, niching down, just having a sole problem that you focus on, and just changing everything to focus on that. And then you're going to be speaking to the people who have that problem rather than trying to solve 10 problems, which you can do later on. But up front, you don't want to be doing that. That's great. Thanks very much for that, Marcus. And we're going to have a chat to Dan Woerheide now. Dan, you're also a coach, former military man. Done my homework, haven't I? Tell us a little bit about how you got into that, and what led to it, what your background was, and who you're helping now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say what led to it was realization while I was in the military that there was an opportunity to improve the future of leadership there. And so I took every opportunity I had to mentor junior soldiers at the time, and even some of my peers, and then what ended up being a much broader audience. And I did that in two ways. One was as a Master Resilience Trainer for the military, where I was actually doing a train the trainer as well. And I was a 13-year sexual assault victim advocate. And so, connecting with and being able to inspire, encourage others and help them recognize their own potential in all of those scenarios was sort of where it started. I left the military, though, and got into the world of marketing like Marcus. I was a story brand guide when I first left the military and transitioned, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. What I found was I really got back into the conversation and the people side of things, with helping them uncover their own roadblocks, mindset challenges, and all of the things that come with being an entrepreneur. Or at the time, I was working with marketing agencies specifically. And I really loved the strategic conversations that we were having at that level. And then, I've just sort of continued to pursue that and hone in my focus and who it is and what it is I'm helping people with.
And who do you work with mostly, Dan?
Yeah, Julian, I love to work with early stage entrepreneurs who have made the shift and commitment into full-time self-employment, or those who are right there on the fence and there's still something holding them back. That's ideally the people I love to work with, but it's not limited to that either.
Yeah, awesome. And tell us about your mastermind. That's what I wanted to ask you about.
Oh, yeah. So I've just launched a mastermind, and it's, true Napoleon Hill fashion. I'm only looking for up to 8 to 10 people to be a part of that. It's for the same audience, those full-time self-employed. Early stage is relative depending on where they're at and what it is that they're doing. If it makes sense, there's an application for that. But if it makes sense, then the idea there is that we are a group to come together on a regular or consistent basis with a commitment to showing up and a commitment to 100% support of each and every other member in the mastermind.
Awesome, Dan. It's good. Masterminds are really good, and it's one of the best ways to. I mean, you just get so much. It's fast learning. There are people doing things that you would never probably even discover how to do. And then surprisingly, you help people that you didn't realize that you would. And they're just a fantastic type of networking. And I fully, support the idea and, find a good mastermind, get into it. And coaching as well. Like coaching is, you will get stuck. And you will have slow progress, and coaching, because you've got to understand, coaches are speaking to business people all the time, and they're just soaking up all of these experiences, just like kind of the mastermind, and they can just. I've been helped before tremendously by coaches, and they always you always get a net positive result. So obviously not always, but yeah. Definitely, if you are stuck in your business in any of the ways that we've talked about, maybe you need clarity with what you're doing, like what Marcus was talking about, or you've got roadblocks, whatever it is, have a chat to our guests, I would say. And you've got a podcast as well. Tell us about that.
Yes, so the podcast is Narrowing the Divide, and it's really the division or the gap that we miss in showing up for other people. So we often see people talking or sharing about how they got from where they are to where they are now, or where they were to where they are now, but we don't ever hear about the dirt in the journey, so to speak. And that's sort of where I'm focusing my energy, is uncovering more about those hard pieces in the journey that we often fast forward over in those kinds of conversations. You can go anywhere, guest on a podcast, and share your expertise, but where are you sharing those real challenges and how you overcame them.
What's your podcast called?
It's called Narrowing the Divide.
That's the one, yeah. And I forgot to ask you, Marcus, do you have a podcast or?
I'm actually in between podcasts right now. I've actually created 3 or 4 of them over the years. I'm a little bit of a podcasting junkie, but I'm thinking about maybe a new version now. So,
yeah, it's a good idea. Well, once you get that set up, you can come back and we'll talk about that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much to our fantastic guests. Let's have a round of applause for Marcus Schaller and Dan Woerheide. Well done, gentlemen. And thanks for listening and watching, everyone. I'm going to wrap things up.